Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be another best of 5 from the Dreamhack from Leipzig, which finished in the late days of January rather. So let's begin with this one. It's going to be two very popular players, two Zergs, and hopefully we're not going to have too many rushes in this one, okay? So on the top right hand side, spawning as the red Zerg, we have Shura. Shura is better known as Scarlett, and she is from Team Acer and representing Canada also. Now just a quick fact of the day. She is actually nicknamed the Queen of Blades. Not quite sure why. It was, I don't remember who, but one player nicknamed her Queen of Blades. And the funny thing is, she doesn't like that name. She doesn't like being called the Queen of Blades, which I think is a pretty cool compliment. It's like you're the Queen of the Zerg, and you play Zerg. How cool is that? Her opponent, Liquid TLO, who is the blue Zerg right here, and he's representing both Team Liquid and Germany. So I need to create a question of the series, and I am going to say, who is your favorite StarCraft lore character of all time? This could be StarCraft 1, Brood War, Wings of Liberty, Heart of Swarm, or Legacy of the Void. Your favorite character from the campaign. If you haven't played the campaign, you're missing out, bro. That's bad. So yeah, let's see. Right, so we've got an early expansion coming down from both of our players. Quite standard. The timings are almost identical right now as well. You see that they both have spawning pools, they both have hatcheries, and the hatcheries actually went down first, by the way, just a note. Now, if timings are all correct, that spawning pool should pop at about 2 minutes to 2 minutes 05. I had to check for spines just in case. I actually don't know what she's talking about. Now the funny thing is the spawning pool position here is a little bit different. Sometimes you would see the spawning pool blocking off this refinery just so you can't get Zerglings and Banelings in as easy. But didn't decide to go in like that in this case. And TLO has actually opted to not go for the early Zerglings. So you can see that he's got 2 Queens coming out and 3 drones, but on the other hand Shura has 1 Zergling coming out, or 1 egg of Zerglings. So not a huge deal, but these are just scouting Zerglings. So that's all fine. A metabolic boost is on the way for Shura as well, so she is obviously thinking of doing a bit of aggression with Zerglings. And TLO actually I found he tends to get it a little bit later than most players. I think he focuses more on economy early on, and it's actually one of the reasons why I like watching him play. He just doesn't rush the actual the attacking units. He gets his economy rolling first, and then he's ready and prepared to attack you. Oh, these 2 Zerglings getting very low here. Not quite managing to kill off anything. But that's fine. And both players actually, look at how similar these builds are. Like if you look at the production tab, so cool. I mean, they're just almost identical to each other. With obviously the difference of the early Zerglings versus drone. So I would say that Zerg versus Zerg is probably one of my least favorite and one of my most favorite for 2 reasons. When the game is one of those Zergling and Baneling game which finishes after 5 minutes, it's my least favorite by far. I absolutely despise seeing those rushes, and that's probably mainly affected by the fact that I absolutely hate to control Banelings myself. I just don't like them. Now there is a start of a variation to the builds here. As you can see here, TLO actually put down second and third gases down here in the natural expansion. So this might suggest a Roach Ravager play. 3 gases not quite enough to support a, what is it called? Mutalisks. But he does have the layer on the way, so he could very well have Mutalisks on the way, but not quite yet, because he doesn't have that 4th gas. The ideal number for Mutalisks is actually 6, but quite often you see players these days with just 4, and that is enough. Shura went for her 2nd gas now, nothing too special. And there we go, Roach Warren is also on the way. Now TLO. This is very strange, he doesn't have a Roach Warren, so I'm thinking that the Mutalisk... Yeah, there we go, Spire has gone down. So no Roach Warren and 3 gases appears to mean Mutalisks very shortly. So this is going to be a sneaky one really. So it's going to be Mutalisks versus Roaches. Who is going to win? Shura has actually gotten herself a third gas now, so that's third gas generally means only Roach and Ravager play. Potentially Hydralisk, but Hydralisks do cost a lot of gas, just to note that. But when you get more than 3 gases, that definitely means Mutalisks. Now the timing for Mutalisk gas, if you had four Vespene geysers being mined out of at the same time, from the start to the finish of the Spire, I think the correct number is about 750 to 800 gas that you get, which obviously opens you up to about 8 to 9 Mutalisks on the very first production. Usually players tend to get an upgrade or something in the middle of that, like a Glider or Constitution, and that brings that down to about 6 or 7 Mutalisks. So that's actually fine. And let's see, we do have the Roaches here. That upgrade, by the way, is ranged attack, level 1. And 8 Mutalisks have actually been put down, so just about perfectly spot on with the numbers. 8 Mutalisks on production, and level 1 attack as well, so it looks like TLO might actually be interested in continuing with this aggression. If he gets level 1 attack, it's definitely a bit of commitment to it. Now both players also getting... Sorry, did Shura get an Infestation Pit already? I think she did. No, she didn't actually. Never mind. So just one Infestation Pit coming down here for TLO. Gonna potentially see Ultralisks later on. Or who knows, maybe even Ravagers. Or not Ravagers, Broodlords. Now these Ravagers are actually in a lot of trouble. Mutalisks overhead, they can't fire at them except with their Corrosive Bile. But of course, Mutalisks can easily dodge those. So this is a free pick-off for him. In fact, any kills right now with these Mutalisks is a free pick-off. This is actually nice. He's basically clumping up all of his units next to the or she's clumping them all up next to the hatchery just so they prevent the damage on the workers. Now nice engage onto here. Now there's not a whole lot that Shura's army can do here with the Mutalisks overhead. Yeah, she has a few queens. There's 3 in total. 4 now. But they still don't do enough damage to force them away fast. So Hydralisk then is now coming up. At this point she realizes she's a little bit late with the Mutalisk, so it would make no sense for her to start Mutalisk production at this point. So instead what she does is she gets Hydralisks. They're very good at countering Mutalisks, mainly because their range is a bit bigger, and of course they attack fast. These Mutalisks gonna be so menacing right now. I mean, sneaking those into the back of a mineral line is absolutely huge. Now there's only one Spore Crawler here, so despite the fact that he has a bunch of queens, it would be very difficult to defend that back base with just one Spore Crawler. Both players also going for the Pathogen Gland, so there's obviously going to be an Infestor play here. Now Infestors are okay against Mutalisks. The reason I say they're okay is because they're not amazing. They slow them down, they put them in place, but unless you can follow up with a few Corrosive Biles or just chain Fungal Growth them, it's just not enough damage to finish them off. I mean, 120 health, if I remember right. Fungal Growths do 30 or 35 damage. Can't actually remember, I need to check that out. If any in the comments on Twitch knows, let me know please how much damage exactly the Fungal Growth does. But I think it's about 35. So basically it would take probably about 4 Fungal Growths before you kill off the Mutalisk flock, which is actually quite a lot of energy to spend. Okay, and it's actually quite nice, managing to get a few of those Zerglings in. Getting this around on the Queen. Is he going to be able to get that down? Oh, it's going to be very close. No, he does not. And just free pickoffs here with the Mutalisk. Honestly, I think that TLO could easily continue on with the production here. I mean, he's got the air dominance. There's not really that much that Shura can do. And once you've got a huge flock of Mutalisks, it's just impossible to deal with them. They're just so difficult. TLO getting his own base. This is the 5th base for him. He's denied this base from Shura twice now, and that's just her 4th base, so he's actually currently at a very, very commanding lead right now. And also to note, I'm sure you have probably already noticed at this point, Ultralisks, chitinous plating, and crackling update, all on the way for Liquid TLO. And there we go, the Roaches streaming in here. Is he going to have enough units to attack or to destroy this? Of course he is. He does have Mutalisks in the air as well, but this scary, scary army from Shura, oh my god, is this huge amount of tech and expansion is going to backfire onto TLO. He does have Ultralisks inside this army. Is he going to get a nice round with the Zerglings? Is he going to get the engage? Let's move out a little bit just here. And a bunch of Hydralisk in the back. I do think he's going to have enough to clean this up. The Ultralisks doing so much damage up the front line. so much damage. There's queens in the back as well. He does have a few transfuses ready, but is it going to be enough with so many ultralists in the front? He has mutalisks overhead as well, not a huge lot. More ultralists streaming in from the side. He does have the superior economy, and I do think that he is going to come out on top with this one. That is quite amazing. So this pretty much shows you here, it's all about... Thank you. 30 damage is the fungal growth. So, despite the fact that Shura came into that engagement with about 30 army supply, if I remember right, lead, she came out below simply because of that tech from TLO. The Ultralists doing just so much work onto the units. And they're almost fully upgraded as well. They've got one Carapace and Chitin Splitting as well, so it's just a huge damage reduction onto that. And I think this could very well spell GG here for Shura. Game number 1, TLO just showing his absolute dominance here with his Ultralists. And it's actually something that I say, oh there we go, G, just saying a G. So Liquid TLO takes game number 1, and that is pretty much that. And that is it for game number 1 between Liquid TLO and Scarlett. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, leave it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys in the second game. A quick question of the series, of course, if you haven't answered already, is what is your favorite Starcraft lore character of all time? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, you're very welcome to explain why, or maybe at what point that was your favorite. Maybe they stopped being your favorite. But that's pretty much it. Good luck, take care. I'll see you guys in game number 2.